Saturday, no morning, we have a lot to do, but we chose to be here. Thank you for that. So today is like kind of open house for this program. Before I give the floor to some of the speakers, I wanted to seize this opportunity to first introduce myself for those who don't know me. My name is Georgia Ngeku, and I'm the facilitator of this program. Actually, I work on the Bizarre organization. So with your permission, I will go ahead and share my screen. But a little bit about my background. And I have an IT background, so I've been in the IT field for more than 11 years now. And why did I embrace this program? This organization come to me, and I myself got the training from Bizarre, and I saw the value of that training because being in the IT world, I realized that it's not all about degree. I have a master's degree in information technology from the University of Maryland. And what I learned from that is that it's not easy at all, especially when you are competing for the market. And there are certain things that sometimes we are lacking and we don't know that we are lacking. So when I had the opportunity to get that training, which is an invitation, let me meet somebody. I hope it's going to be much better now. So as I was saying, Bizarre is an international IT consulting firm. And what Bizarre does is they don't just do Agile training. Instead of they do Agile training, they do blockchain technology training, they do full stack engineering training. So Agile is just one of the programs. And also they design application for businesses, web and mobile application for businesses. And also they are international consulting. So they consult with the countries and they have clients all over the world. So, but today we are representing the IT part of the organization, the Agile part of the organization. So what makes Bizarre unique, you know? And I'm sure some of us, we have faced that conversation out there with our friend, where, for instance, they will tell you that, okay, if you have a Scrum Master certification or an Agile certification, it's challenging because it's too much IT oriented and all that. I'm sure we have gone through such a conversation, which is true. But the good thing is that this organization understands the application of the technology to the business world, and also the challenges that a new entrepreneur, new professional go through, even when they land a job. So they design their course and taking into consideration that challenges that we will face, that we sometimes face, either at our workplace or just from getting that training. Because sometimes you get the training, but the interview is completely different situation. They're talking about a language that you don't understand. So they have created that makes them unique. So one of the things that make them unique, and you can see their slides, their PowerPoint are completely designed as a tool that you can use, you can leverage. Even when you get a job, you can leverage that to maximize on your, maybe train your staff and all that. And the second thing that makes them unique is what really walk you through the journey. That means me facilitating this program, I can tell for myself, because I tell my student that I will never put my signature somewhere if I cannot support. If you are part of my student, not just I will support you from the beginning to the end. And the minimum standard in this organization is to land a job, is not to pass a license. License doesn't make any sense until you land a job. So the third benefit of this organization that make that organization unique is what? Is that we talk about technology challenges, but also they know how to bring that experience, because when we talk about getting a certification is not enough. You still have to show that you have experience in the area that you are competing for, and that they know how to put that in a compelling document for you to focus on that, which they call business case, which that describe the different technology that you use, the different skill, the different application you are working on, so that you just need to narrow everything into maybe 1 or 2 pages. You just need to focus on that, which make the interview very, very seamless. less challenging for you, because sometimes when you see the job description, the interview can be challenging if you don't know how to approach it. So they have facilitated that, and they have something that they call Agile calendar, which bring you that year of experience that you are claiming sometimes, and you don't even, sometimes you don't really have it. So, but they bring you the day of an Agilist and the problem that they solve into a calendar that if you have an opportunity to show, trust me, you will stand out from other candidates. And another point that they stand out for is that even when you learn a job, the challenges in the jobs, for instance, you can have some processes that they ask you to design. You don't know where to go. You don't know who to talk to. The good thing, if you come back to them, they will be able to guide you through that. They will be able to design the process. As long as you can describe your problem, they will help you find the solution. I remember different people come for problem like technology issue, like ServiceNow, or like setting up a DevOps processes, which is extremely technology oriented for somebody who have the training that we are talking about. But the good news is having people who understand that, who can train you or who can help you design that process for you, give you the confidence to express yourself. And that is the key that really I really love. And also they have a Slack channel. Why Slack channel? Because they understand that with the Slack channel, you are already in the work environment, even though you are a student. So they want you to interact as if you were already working, because you will leverage such technology a lot when you will be working. So, and then what should we even consider the career as an Agilist? And I have few speakers that will be speaking about that here, but trust me, the first thing that you will see is that the demand is increasing. We go about the trend, what is going on out there. We see that IT is taking over. When we talk about IT, we talk about processes, we talk about being more efficient in what we are doing. And that is what Agile comes into place. It to help people becoming more efficient in whatever they are doing. And the second thing is what? He gives you the ability to even learn the job. And I'm telling you, one speaker will be speaking about that, like in the 1 month, exactly 1 month, she went from a student knowing nothing in Agile to learn a job. So what am I saying? It's possible, but it can only be possible if you know what to do, what to give to the student, and you know how to help the student navigate through that complicated process. And you have the ability to work from home. You have the ability to have a remote interview. When we talk about this, it can seem to be very light, but it's a big deal, because when you have the ability to have a remote interview, that means you can glance on maybe your word and you read some word while you are talking to the interviewer. You cannot have that comfort, that privilege when you walk to the office and do a face-to-face interview. And when you work from home, especially those who have children, you have that flexibility that you cannot buy anywhere else. And that kind of job gives you that possibility to be able to do that. And another area that I want to point out today is what truly they pay you, they pay a decent salary. So trust me, actually, based on the length of training and based on what you know and based on the salary that you get, is mind-blowing. The average salary is about $118,000 in a year. We imagine that in 3 years you have a certification that pay you $118,000. Just imagine. And that is what we are talking about. So it's something that can really change your life if you know how to approach it. And one of the things also that you have to pay attention to is what? Career growth. How do you go? Because it's not about you landing a job, it's about you going from where you are to a next step. What is the next step? Is it easy to move from one step to another? Absolutely, yes. And I'm sure a great speaker here will be talking about that, where you can go from maybe a simple Agile project manager or Scrum Master, learn a coaching or whatever you want to do, or maybe learn a management position or an executive position. You require you such skill. And you will see that an average salary as a coach is about $158,000 to $199,000 in the US. So is it worth it? Absolutely, yes. And the last but not the least is what? The opportunity to be mentored by others. We have community leader, and they are willing to mentor you and to show you. So I want to post, and then I saw one of our special guest speaker today, Mr. Vitalis. I can see him connected. Mr. Vitalis, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being there. So Mr. Vitalis is a Scrum Master working with Accenture. So he's going to be sharing with you a little bit about his experience. So I don't want to take so much. He's a great man, great family man. Actually, he's calling right now from Florida. He's in vacation, but he can take some time to come and speak to us today so that you know that if you are a student here, or if you are a potential student, you know that there is a hope in what we are talking about. So, Mr. Vitalis, please, you have the floor.
All right. I'm very sorry. First of all, the noise. I'm in an environment
that is the vacation mood.
But I will try to make sure that I tell that the people that are trained and who are in class now, just the gospel truth is currently going on. And so, guys, my name is Victor. But I'm here just to testify and let you guys understand that it's real.
It's having issue with the network. Let me see. Is it still there or is disconnected? If we come back, okay, it's there.
Just 1 month after. When I started just 2 weeks, I said to myself, why not other interviews? I was still interviewing. Some will come up interview and say, we want to give you the offer, but this is what I want to pay. Because when I started, I wanted anything that can be above what I have with Infosys. And so Accenture came in, and guys, my interview was 30 minutes because I already know what I was telling them. I'd gone through their job description, know what I was telling them. After 30 minutes, I was done. And about 5 minutes after, the recruiter called me and said, hey, I just got a call from Accenture. Your interview was so great. And so if you're being given that offer, will you consider it? I said, yeah, that's why I interviewed. You guys, trust me. We're talking about the $75 an hour. I mean, that's something you are doing. There's not too much work when once you understand that concept, but you're earning $75 each hour that passes by. And so we are in this together. When my sister called me and told me, hi, I should come in and encourage you guys, I said to myself, I'm not only coming in to encourage you guys today, but I'm coming in to let you guys know that we're in this together. Get the training. Once you get the training, get your resumes. I am here. I will mentor. I will coach. I'll pre-interview because, in fact, actually, I'm interviewing. I interview for Infosys right now. And just to tell you a quick story, yesterday, it was on Friday when I was traveling. A lady called me and told me, hi, I have an interview at 2 o'clock. As she just told me I had an interview at 2 o'clock, I changed that conversation into a pure interview. I interviewed her for 45 minutes. I recorded it. After 45 minutes, I review and tell her, this is what you say, this is what you say. And behold, 2 o'clock on Friday, she had an interview. And 45 minutes speaking with those guys, they ended by asking her, when do you want to start working? Why I'm telling you this? She had that offer, and I'm telling you this because people still think that it's not real. It's very real. Just listen carefully. Get what your teacher is telling you. Get certified. We are here to help you. It is happening. It is still happening. And you only get to enjoy it when you land that job. Like I said, I am in Miami, Florida. I don't even know what I can say about it, but guys, it is real, straightforward, and we get going, and we're in this together, like I said. I was in another conference in there. I just step outside because I want to encourage you guys and tell you guys real. Teacher, your doctor will share my number at any time. I am very open. I have an open policy. At any time, you can reach out to me and say, hey, I was going through this. I don't understand this. I always have that time to tell you, hey, this is how you should go about it. This is what you should do. If you're being asked this, this is how it goes. I even have that time that I can set up a Zoom call with you to walk you through what you don't understand. So guys, I'll not talk too much of the time because we have speakers and we have a class to attend, but your teacher is going to share my number with you guys at any time. Just send me a text and say, hi, this is this person. Your number was, I got your number from here, and I'll be able to help at any time. I mean, at any time, I have that open and a flexible mindset ready to help at any time. So guys, let me just summarize it here and then get back to the conference that I'm attending right now. But like I said, I have an open policy to help you guys at any time. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to encourage you, to tell you that this dream is real. It's a real dream.
Thank you so much, my brother. Thank you. I really appreciate you. And it's a privilege and honor to have you today. Thank you for the time that you spent to come and speak to the class. And I really appreciate you. Thank you. So have a great day.
Yes, so much.
In Florida, yes. And, you know, without further ado, I wanted to introduce this great lady. Trust me, like our brother Vitalis just said, Karen, I look up to this great lady, and I'm sure I always recommend her video to you guys because she's great, and her content is straight to the point, and it's exactly what we need to be able to not just to land a job, but to navigate when we get a job. What do you go about it? So, and I wanted to share a little bit of her background before I bring her on the floor, with your permission. So give me 1 second here. So Karen, she wear a lot of hats though. She's a coach, she's a mentor, she's a mother, she's a PM. Actually, she will tell you she's a release train engineer, she's an agile delivery manager, she's all that. I don't even know which we had to tell here. She sings, she writes, she has a very active YouTube channel right now. So it's an opportunity, it's a privilege to have her connected today. To have her 1 minute is so difficult because she's been called everywhere, you know. But she found the time to come and speak to us today, and I am so grateful for that. So, Miss Karen, are you there?
Hi, Shushe. Thank you so much for having me. And to everyone else in class, even though I'm not able to see you all, but I'm so privileged to be here this morning just to share my insight on what I think has been working and will keep working as far as the little tips to maybe landing your first role or your second role is concerned. So I am so glad to be here this morning. For the sake of time, I'm just going to go straight to the point because I always like to go straight to the point though. So if you are currently in the market or if you are potentially looking to get into the market anytime soon, again, coming from the place of an interviewer, as I interview a lot of candidates, I help a lot of people get jobs and all of that. I help transform people's mindset as far as the agile servant leadership, true leadership is concerned. What we really focus on as interviewers, we focus on 2 key areas when we are interviewing candidates. When you, let's say you submit your resume out there, in the first place, before you're even being called, your resume has to align with what they are looking for. So my recommendation is, if you are going out there to start submitting your resumes, be sure that you're not just distributing your resumes is like everywhere just because there is a quick apply, especially on LinkedIn, Indeed. Make sure that you take your time. I mean, looking for a job itself is a full-time job. If you approach it like that, trust me, you would not be feeling disappointed by having that. We regret that we went with other candidates and all of that. Take your time, make sure that as you go through each job description, you align your resume to match with what the job description is looking for. So that's not easy though. That's not easy. It's time consuming. Then I tell you, you wouldn't regret that you did that, because just taking your time and going through all of the keywords on the job description and aligning it with your resume, it gives potential for you to receive calls from this interviewer. That's the first thing. And then once that is done, let's say you're being called up for an interview. The two key things that we are looking for in the field is, number one, we are checking on behavioral fit, especially as a servant leader. Servant leadership is not any ordinary kind of leadership, which means that it's not about saying that I'm a servant leader. You have to reflect servant leadership. So for that to happen, they are assessing you if you have the behavioral fit, and I'll go into details about that. And then the second key thing they are looking for is the skill set fit. Those are the two key areas that they are looking for in a candidate. Now, for interviewers to be able to separate novice from people who have real experience under this skill set fit, let's first of all start with skill set fit. Under this skill set fit, what they'll be looking for is looking for someone who can break down scenario-based questions. So, for people who have just read this, I mean, you agree with me that there's just too much information out there, and then there are just so many people who call themselves Scrum Master just because they have a certification. Interviewers know that. So now they are trying to separate people who are just novice. And when I'm talking about novice, I mean people who just have the theoretical knowledge from the people who have real experience. How do they do that? They bring up these scenario-based questions. And for you to successfully conquer this question, you need to be able to tell a clean, clear, complete story. Now, how do you tell that story if you don't have an experience? That is why it's very important that you have a teacher, a mentor like Georgette and whoever you're looking up to. But mentoring is very important, especially if you know you don't have that real life experience, so that these people you're looking up to, they'll transfer their knowledge, their real life experience to you, so you can use it as that story that you have to tell. Because if you're not telling that clean, complete story, that's how they're able to separate an ordinary novice from someone who has real experience. So I'm still on that skill set fit. So now, when they ask you these scenario-based questions, they need you to go step after step and tell them what happened, how you approach the situation, and then what was the outcome. So for you to successfully do that, I need you, I'm sure what I will say right now it shouldn't be new to you. Keep in mind the STAR technique. That has always worked and it will always continue to work. And it makes it easy for you to tell that clean, complete story, well-structured story that has all the answers that they're looking for. They don't need you to be shallow. They need you to be deep. That's how they know that you have the experience. Because if you truly have the experience, you will have that story to tell and the story will be complete. And for example, if they ask you about, let's say, a negative something that happened, a difficult situation, let's assume that a difficult problem that happened at work. Okay, if you have to address this question successfully, don't just tell the story of the difficult situation. For example, resistance. Don't just tell a story on how you face resistance with some stakeholders or your team members. They need you to tell them how you face that resistance, what you did to overcome that resistance. Even though they may not ask you what you did to overcome it, but that's what they are looking for. They are looking for someone who will come in and help them add value. They are not looking for someone who just come and then face problems and then just sit and not do nothing. See, so because before they are even calling for people or looking for candidates, it's because they have problems that they need you to come in and fill that gap. So around skill set, the key takeaway that I need you all to go back with is be sure that you have your complete story, and keeping in mind the STAR technique. That's what separates you from just an ordinary novice and someone who have experience. And if you know that you really don't have any experience, that is why you need a mentor, so that they can transfer their real life experience to you. Now, let us look at, okay, before I go to the next point, still on the skill set. What you are saying though, the knowledge matters, the experience matters, but how you say it also make a huge difference. You may be saying all the right things, but now the way you say it makes a huge difference. And that brings us to our next key point that they are looking for, the behavioral fit. Now, under behavioral fit, they are looking for 4 key things. Your attitude. And do you have that kind of attitude that they would want to be dealing with every day, that they can cope with every day? They are looking at all those. And it's not about what you're telling them. It's about your body language. It's about your tone of voice. It's about your facial expression. So out of everything you'll be telling them, the words that you'll be telling them, only 20% matters for them to make that decision. The remaining 80%, they are reading it from your body language, your tone of voice, and your attitude. That's how they are reading all these things. Only 20% of what you're telling them really matters. Trust me. So you have to take that into like very seriously. So around attitude, you know, sometimes you go to interview. How do they separate 7 leaders from? They are looking for 7 leaders. They are not looking for managers. They are not looking for bosses. So the words, your vocabulary, that the way you talk, it really makes a huge difference. For example, if they ask you a question and then you're telling a story, you may be tempted to start telling them like what you did, the actions that you took. You may be tempted to start telling them, oh, I told the team members that, I told my stakeholders that. No, as a 7 leader, keep in mind, you are not telling, you are selling your ideas. And for you to show that you're selling your ideas in the way you're answering these questions, the words that you'll be using, your choice of what really matters, that's the vocabulary I'm talking about. So instead of saying that I told my stakeholders, that I told managers, that no, you'll be saying that I suggested, I recommended. Those are the kind of words you're using. So be very careful. That's what makes separate you from a 7 leader and an authoritative leader. So you are not selling nothing to nobody. So for you to sell your idea, it means that you have to suggest it. You have to recommend it, which means that they have an option to either take it or leave it. And you should always come from a place of not pushing things down their throat, like, oh, Agile says we should do this, so that's what we have to do. No. So you're coming from a place of you're suggesting these things, you're recommending it, and they have an option to take it or leave it. So how do you influence them to take it? Because you want them to take it. So how do you influence them to take this idea without coming out as to be too pushy? You are putting it out there as an experiment. Very important. So that's what you'll be telling your interviewers. You suggested this point, and when they were feeling reluctant, you ask them to just try it as an experiment. That means you're giving an open window that if this doesn't work, they can always drop it. But if they try it like 2-3 times, if it works, and then it's win for you all, which means that at the end of the day, you're not losing. You're either winning or you're either learning. So those are the words that you'll be using when you're answering these interview questions. I tell you, if you take everything as far as the knowledge is concerned that your teacher is teaching you here, and you use these words to answer those interview questions, reflecting the knowledge that you've gathered from the teacher, there's no way you will not get this interview. So be mindful of your vocabulary. That's what makes you a 7 leader. That's what separates you from a 7 leader from an authoritative leader. And then another key thing, which is the most important, before I'll go ahead to highlight the other key factor under behavioral fit, it's the passion. Remember, there is something that passion cannot be bought. You can buy knowledge. You can pay your teacher to give you that knowledge. You can go take all the trainings in the world, but passion, you cannot buy passion. And the people that usually give up when it's hard, because I mean, in the real life, trust me, the challenges are real though. The challenges are real. They are looking for someone who can sustain the challenges. And people who successfully do that, I mean, these things have been proven time and again, are people who are passionate about what they are doing. Which means that you don't care about your own self though. You don't care about taking the credit. You care only about how do I deliver value? How do I make my team happy? How do I make these people see the goodness in this Agile? That's the passion we are talking about. And the way you answer your interview question, trust me, it tells these people if you have that passion or not. So for example, if they ask you how you came about, how you came into Scrum in the first place, because these people, they know that Scrum is not like a real defined curriculum in schools before though, even though now it's becoming a thing, they know that. So they know that you must have come from somewhere before coming into this Scrum. So they usually love to ask this question. Now the answer you tell them will let them know if you're truly passionate about what you're doing, or you're doing it just because everyone is doing it, or you're doing it just because you think they pay well, or you're doing it just because you want to fit in that environment. This answer is very important. This is the perfect opportunity where you want to reflect that passion. You're telling them that it's something that you truly believe in. You believe in the agile way of working. You have seen it work. I mean, even in your home, you're connecting. I mean, the way you talk to them, you will tell them if you're passionate. So be sure, even if truly you don't have that passion, fake it. Fake that passion. But why should you fake it? Because agile is beautiful. Seriously, agile is so beautiful. So be sure that you're reflecting passion, because out of, let's say if they have 5 candidates and then you are the third to the most qualified, the other people just have like 100% experience, and you reflect that passion, even with 70% experience, they'll take you. Because they know that with the passion, you can always learn anything. You will be quick to learn anything, and you will deliver value because you have that passion. And if you have that passion, you will care for your customers, you will care for your team. So be very sure that you're reflecting passion. Another thing under behavioral fit is confidence. Confidence is very important. You may be saying all the right things, but if you don't have that self-confidence, it's showing. And for you to face these leaders, they need someone who is strong. They need someone who can stand the test of time, especially facing all these leaders, because these leaders are not easy to do it, to be honest with you. But if you have confidence in yourself, even when you're saying the wrong thing, in your confidence, they'll believe you. They'll believe you. So I know it's easier said than done, though, that have confidence. Everybody says have confidence. It's easier said than done. But for you to successfully overcome your overwhelmness or nervousness, because that thing is an enemy, you have to consciously talk to yourself. When you feel that you're getting nervous, there are a lot of information out there. Go to YouTube, check on the ways you can overcome nervousness, because these things are real, though. They are real. Check on, take deliberate steps to overcome your nervousness. Talk to them like you have confidence in what you're saying. Even when you're reflecting passion, you're reflecting confidence, the mistakes that you will be making in the things you'll be saying, they will not notice, or they will really barely notice them. That's what will sell you. I tell you. So when you go for your interview, make sure that you're reflecting confidence. And for you to overcome this nervousness, which is real, talk to yourself. When you find yourself talking too much, I know, especially a lot of us Africans, I don't know your audience, if they are more of Africans, I don't know. We have this tendency of talking like we are fighting. For some reason, that's just natural for us. So have this in mind. Make conscious effort to overcome this. In that interview, take your time. These people have carved out this time to talk to you. Don't rush it. Don't rush it. But at the same time, you want to find a balance. So you don't talk too much, take so much time that will be becoming boring. No, just find a balance. Make sure that you're giving them the information that they want to receive. So that confidence is very important. Talk to yourself, making sure that you're overcoming that nervousness. If you find yourself talking too much, you take a deep breath and then you come again. Sometimes some techniques that I use to overcome nervousness when I'm right in front of some kind of audience is, I just let them know that right now, please, I am nervous. So if you would bear with me, trust me, they'll understand. And that alone helps you calm down. Say it out. Say it out. And then another thing too is your ability to learn. There may be times when they ask you a question and truly you don't have a clue. Maybe you've never heard of that at all. Tell them that, well, you're not familiar with this, but if you know that you have, for example, if they ask you if you're familiar with Jira and you know that you don't have any clue with Jira, which I suggest that you make sure that you're looking into these things as you prepare for your interview. Tell them that, well, you are not very familiar with Jira, but you're very solid with Azure DevOps. Tell them something like that, because they know that if you know Azure DevOps, you will be quick to learn Jira. And then don't only end there, tell them that, well, if that's a requirement, you will make sure that you do your homework because you're very, very quick to learn. They always appreciate someone who can pick the ball and run with it. Even when when you don't have that knowledge, but you're ready to learn, you're open for learning, you're not trying to argue all the time or show that you're strong and all of that. No, and this ability to learn, it really ties with that passion I'm talking about. Because if you have passion, you will go out there and seek for that knowledge. all the time. So again, the key things out of everything that we've said here today, as you're preparing for your interview, focus on these two key areas, the behavioral fit and the skill set fit. Under the behavioral fit, you want to make sure that your attitude align, and other attitude, I'm talking about the vocabulary, the humility you're reflecting. Some words are words that you will never use as a servant leader. Like you're talking to your interviews and you're calling them, you guys, don't say that. And then you're using the words tell. I told this, I told no. I mean, it's just out of the question. It may seem like a little thing to you, but trust me, it's a big deal. When you're using these words, I recommended, I guided, and all of that. And then another big word that it's a no, is manage. Don't say I manage my team and all. You are not a manager. You're saying that I guide, I support, I lead. These are the words you're using. So avoid, in fact, just take out management from your vocabulary. As a servant leader, it's not something you should ever have in your vocabulary. So make a conscious effort to take it out. And then another keywords that, okay, so another thing that you should be showing them is humility. The way you're talking, you need to be humble. That's characteristics of a servant leader. You're not talking over people. Take your time. If your interviewers are talking, don't talk over them. No, let them learn. Because it will be at your own disadvantage if you're even talking over them, which means you will not even understand the question that they're asking you. So let them learn. Once they learn, you go ahead. And if they ask you something you don't understand it, please feel free to ask. And the way you're asking really matters. Like yesterday, I was listening to one of my students' interview, and she didn't understand something. Instead of her to ask it nicely, like, please, I did not catch that. Can you please come again? And she was like, what? I mean, that was so funny. So when I listened to that, I was so crushed in my spirit, because these are things that we've talked about already several times. It's okay. Make sure don't try to answer something you don't understand, but at the same time, make sure that you are asking nicely. These are the things that tell them that, okay, this will be the kind of person they want to deal with every day. And she was like, what did you say? And all of that. I mean, it was so funny. That's not a servant leader. That's just not a servant leader. Yeah, so be very careful the words that you use. Be humble in your spirit. It will reflect to them, So, yeah, so in summary, that's all what I have to tell you today. And trust me, for you to finally get to that point, there are two key things that you have to do. You cannot not be committed and then you want a result. It's just not going to work. It's just as simple as that. These 5 Scrum values that we all talk about every day: commitment, focus, openness, courage, and all of these things. It's not just for your team, it's for you as well. It starts from you. You have to be that example, which means that all of these things should be your life, your real self. That's what builds that passion in you. You have to be committed in learning I'm not sure the course you're taking right now, but be committed. There's no way you'll be committed and then you follow simple direction. You don't make it. There's just no way. You will. So take what you're doing very seriously. This field is sweet. I wouldn't lie to you. It is sweet. When you finally get into it, the good news is that every day you want to learn more. You get up from your bed, you're so passionate and want to go find out how to better help your team. And by doing that, you gain satisfaction that you're helping people, adding value. It's everything. So that's all I would have to say. I mean, I have so much to say, but for the sake of time, I would just want to end here. So thank you all so much. If you have any question, I'm right here. So I have like 3 more minutes to go. So feel free to shoot any question.
Wow. This is amazing. I hope, do you guys have any question? Let's see. Do you have any question to Karen? This is a great opportunity to ask question.
Hello.
Hi,
Hello,
Solomon.
everybody. Yeah. It's not a question. It's just to say congratulations, because we can feel you are patient. So I'm listening to your video since, and I'm very proud of somebody who come from Africa and have that kind of aura. I don't know if it's like that in English, but
Yeah.
it's when I'm listening to your video, I'm learning a lot, and I used to take copy, and actually I'm going through interview, and let me tell you that your video is helping me. So it's just like a
Thank you. Thank you.
testimony, yeah, to say what you are doing is great, yeah, and you just know that people are following you, and you are doing. It's like Georgette, you are doing the same thing, right?
Yeah.
And Georgette just introduced us to your video, and now I understand more. I've been doing project management, but waterfall mostly. So since I started this course, and since Georgette introduced me to your video, I'm learning a lot from you, and it's a pleasure to say to be in front of you today in live, and to encourage you to go to move for to do your best to improve, because sometimes in your video you are talking about you are a student, and yeah, so it's good.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, that's the whole point. That's the whole point. We are just looking to impact more life, especially around our African community, because we've seen that we are lacking a lot, and mostly it's because of lack of information. We don't have that someone to direct us, especially around the African community. So that's the whole point, just to plant a lot of seeds. And once you pick on that seed, it shouldn't only end with you. Make sure that you're planting more seeds. You're planting more seeds. That's how we build an empire in this environment. Trust me, as Black people, it's very important. Thank you so much.
Hello.
So, hello.
Good.
Hello.
Yeah.
Good
Hi.
morning.
Hi.
Can you hear me? My name is
Yes.
Jermaine. Yes.
Hi,
Hi,
Jermaine.
Karen. It's nice meeting you. Nice talking. Nice having you. Because like Solomon said, Miss Georgette introduced you to us. She really, really encouraged us during the training to watch your video. And to be honest, I did watch your video, and I was like, not only I was proud that you are from our place, you are from Cameroon, and I was like, I saw the boost, like the energy you have is contagious. So I
Thank you.
wanted to tell you, girl, you are doing it, and I'm so happy to have you today, because what you just said, our wonderful instructor, Miss Georgette, already talked about it. But when somebody tells you something and somebody else comes and re-emphasize on it, you'll be like, this is what I have to do. And I really, really like the part that when you talk about the behavioral skills, because most of the time we are just so focused on the
On the
technical
knowledge.
part of,
Mhm.
on the knowledge, on the technical part, that we forget about the behavioral part. And sometimes we are so nervous to the point that we don't really grasp the fact that they are looking at everything, our facial expression, everything that we're saying, the way we're saying it, the words that come out of our mouth.
Yeah.
And I remember one thing today, Miss Georgette always said it, and I think I have to really work on it. The word that we use, support, guide, never use manage. We have to emphasize on recommending, suggesting. Those are the little things that we just don't really pay attention to them, but they really matters.
Yeah.
Because these interviewers are human beings like us.
Exactly.
They're just people like us, but when you're looking for a job, you just feel like those people in front of you, they are just out of they are
Thank
just
you.
from another
That's a
planet.
great point. And to that point,
Yes.
I would like to tell
Mhm.
you that approach any interview as a network opportunity. Don't approach it like you're in
That's
front of a
right.
tribunal
That's right.
court or anything like that. No. Approach it like you're going to sell
That's right.
yourself. It's a business that you have. You're going to sell your business to
Yes.
someone. So
That's
that's
right. That's
network
right.
opportunity for you. It's a
Yes.
conversation, not a questioning and answering thing, number one. And
Right.
then secondly, they're looking for someone who can communicate, talk with people, not talking
Yes.
at people. So there's a
That's
huge
right.
difference. They want
That's
someone
right.
that can talk with people. So it's a back
Yes.
and forth thing, not talking at people. So make sure that you
That's
keep
right.
all that in mind.
Yes, that's right. And you said never use the word manage. Miss Georgette always emphasized on it during the training.
Mhm.
She told us never use manage. And I almost made that mistake in my interview, doing my interview last week. I thank God I remember it. We could I switch. I said not manage, but support, guide. And I had
Really
those words
great.
from your from your videos too. It's
Yeah.
really encouraging. Sometimes when you're not in the field yet, it's something you have a master in healthcare management.
Mhm.
I know people will be telling me, oh, you can speak, you are eloquent, you can do this. And then looking at Miss Georgette, it just gives me a big booster. It's a
I love
booster for
that.
me. To
I
see
love that.
women like us trying
Mhm.
to make it. As us women, sometimes we are just look at, if we know with the word today, women have always been viewed like, oh, we cannot do it. So seeing Miss Georgette doing this, so encouraging.
Good.
It makes me think I can do it. I would do
Good.
it. When I look at Karen, I say, look at Karen, look at Miss Georgette. They talk
You
about
sure
Scrum Master.
can.
They
You
was
sure
born with it.
can.
It gives me. It just. I know I would do it, and I
You
just want
sure
to say a
can.
big thank you. A
You're
big thank you.
welcome.
You're a big encouragement. A big power booster for us.
You're
I just wanted
welcome.
to share that with you, and thank you again for being
Thank you
here
so much.
with us.
Yeah, at this
Yes.
point, I would like to run off because I'm already late for my next meeting. So
Thank you so
thank you
much.
all so much. It's been a great pleasure talking to you all, and I wish you
Thank
all the
you.
ultimate best. Okay?
Thank you
Oh,
so
thank you
much,
so much,
Karen.
Karen.
Thank
You
you.
too.
We
Thank you
appreciate
so much.
you.
No
Keep up the
problem.
great work. Thank you so much. And bye-bye. I'll talk to you
Bye.
later.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, let's keep going for, we want to, this time now, let's hear from a student from our class. And the student, she joined us this program last June on the 5th. This is the day she was introduced to Agile for the first time. And she is a student, just graduated with her bachelor's degree from the University of Austin. She have never worked, she have never heard her have that kind of experience, professional experience before. But through 1 month, exactly 1 month, from June 5th to July 5th, she landed a job. That means she was introduced to the program. She learned everything she could learn. And in less than, within 1 month, she was able to go from knowing nothing to be a professional agilist. So I want to give the floor right now to Judikaya. Judikaya, are you there? And by the way, she's just 22 years old, so she's just a child. But she was committed for that. And I want us to hear from her experience, because I'm sure sometimes we ask ourselves questions and we don't know. We feel like, okay, maybe maybe it's too complex, especially when you go through interview. So Judikaya, you have the floor.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Salomon. Hi, Jermaine. Hi, Mabel. Hi, Mr. Banner. Maven. I guess I know everybody here except for two people. Yeah. Actually, it's a pleasure to be here today. I'm honored, honestly, to be here in front of you and talking about my little experience with Agile. So exactly on June 5th, that's when I started this course. Like Ms. Georgia said, I had just graduated from university. I was a complete novice. I had never heard of Agile before. You know, for me, it was just a new, a new thing. But after the first course, I was sold right away. I was sold with the idea, with the Agile mindset. I was sold with the whole idea, and I was just, I kind of felt like it could be applied to so many industries, so many places, because at first, when I heard Agile, I'm like, what is really an Agile, right? But with that introduction, she really gave me a glimpse of, Agile and how it can be applicable to different industry. But, with that being said, I'm just going to talk about my experience with the class. The class is amazing, guys. So if you are looking to start this new career, I think Miss Georgia, she's a great mentor. She has been amazing. Honestly, she's given us everything. I mean, every resource that you can imagine to help us succeed in our quest of looking for a job. So honestly, if you want to start this journey, I encourage you to start with her. Just listen to her instructions, listen to her coaching, because she's a great coach and she goes way beyond the classroom to make sure that she's there to help you with anything you need. And and you just go through the interviews. Like, she's going to give you all the materials you need, but honestly, guys, you have to jump in the water. You need to start swimming, because by making those mistakes during the interviews, you learn from them. Like, a lot of the advice that Miss Karen said right now are things that I didn't know during my first few interviews myself. I really didn't know some of those things. Yeah, but when you jump in the water, you start swimming, you start answering questions, you just become good. You just become, you can capture your mistake, you record yourself, you listen to yourself afterward. And of course, you look at ways in which you can improve. Maybe you can send it to Miss Georgia and she will give you, of course, advice on Where can you improve? This is where you did wrong. This is what you could have done better. This is how you could have answered this question. And, that is giving you experience, and eventually they can take you on spot and ask you questions and you can answer. How did I get my first job? Well, honestly, my first offer, the first time I got called for that job, I wasn't even interested. I mean, I didn't even know it was, it was something interesting because so many recruiters has been calling me and I didn't get any feedback. So at first I was like, you know what, it's just like others, but it got serious. They sent me a video, I don't know, a video interview. So the video interview was not, it was more like me recording myself, like me looking at questions in the screen and answering those questions, and they received that video. And just like Ms. Karen says, when you are answering those type of questions, I guess they're really looking at your personality. They're really looking at your communication skills. They're really looking at the type of language. I guess that was a behavioral test that they were testing me on my behavior. Just like what she says, that video is exactly that. And I'm guessing the questions, sometimes some of them was not even related to Scrum. It was just, they were really testing who you are, as a person, how do you speak, what is your body language like, etc. And so after that video, after a week, when I did the video, I received another phone call from the interviewer that I was selected to move on to the next step. And, I remember that day I didn't have the right job description. So I wasn't even sure. I actually wanted to cancel that interview, but I said, well, I'm just going to go, I'm just going to go. It was exactly on July 9th, exactly a month after class started on July 9th. I went to the interview and it was more skill set, again, like she said, using the STAR scenario. Me coming into this industry, I've never been here before. I am a novice, but you need to buy that experience with the stories that you tell them, the depth of your story, just like Ms. Karen mentioned earlier. And so that interview was really, they had a script in front of them and 30 minutes, 3 people staring at me. I wasn't even sure it was Scrum because the job description was completely different. It was too technical, but it was really a skill set question. It was scenario after scenario after scenario after scenario. And really, even when you don't know, guys, fake it. Your confidence sell. I think the reason why I got a job in 1 month is my confidence. Is that even when I don't know, I act as if I know, because you have to show that confidence in front of them because they know that, I mean, you can't know everything. You can never know everything. So if you go to a new company, you're going to have to learn, from the beginning, you're going to have to learn new things to adapt, but your confidence will sell a lot. And so even when you're answering questions, those scenario questions using the STAR method, even if they ask you something you don't know, think of your fit, use your own experience, use what Ms. Georgia has taught us in class and just really answer that question. So, I mean, that's my little tips for you guys. I'm just here to encourage you. This is real. In fact, it's so real because I'm starting my job on this Monday. And when I saw my salary, when I saw my hourly rate, I couldn't believe it because I went from undergraduate where I'm doing little jobs, earning $11 an hour to jumping over 6-figure income in my early 20s. Guys, this is real. I mean, when I signed that, I was like, oh my God, this is for real. It was real, it was actually real. So I'm just letting them know, I'm just here to encourage you guys. Please keep moving. Please do not give up. And please really learn as much as you can. Of course, you cannot learn everything in class. You need to go beyond classroom and, watch those videos like you guys are doing. Go beyond classroom and really just do your best. So that's my little advice. That's my little experience that I've had so far. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Jiskael. It's impressive, and thank you for sharing that experience, and I hope it will help somebody here. For closing, I want to introduce this great guy, and I always look up to him. He has a great mindset, and I always tell him, you will do it, you will do big, you will make it big in this organization. And it's my privilege and my honor to introduce Solomon today. Solomon, he's still going to interview. He's one of the students from the last session, but he already have multiple interviews moving to the next step and next step. So I want him to just share his experience as a student. What was his experience and what is it happening now in the job market with him. Solomon, you have the floor.
Oh, oh. Thank you so much. I didn't know that I have to share all this. This is an honor. It's an honor for me to share that. It's true. I've done another training before that. That is just to show how Mr. Georgette is different. I did another training. So I was doing IT stuff, more Linux and others. And what I just noticed is that Georgette is more, I don't know, is taking care of people like you are his best friend. It's like that. That is why I just feel, because she's always checking if you are up to date in what you are doing, you are supposed to do. So it's like she's checking all the time to make sure that everything you have to do, you are doing it very well. So that's the big difference I've seen in two training I'm doing here in the United States. And now about when the training just finished, so the first thing I liked is that business case, because with that business case, I don't know if I will have improved really my skills. So the business case was very, very, very important for me. And now I'm going through those business case to really impress during my interview, because at least what I've just done, or what I did so far, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I can know that I'm doing good because I have at least 3 good interview where I'm waiting for answer. Another, the first interview where I'm waiting for the final is the round at all the round we have already talked about everything. I'm just waiting to know if I'm the one who will be working for the company or no. And the other interview, I have an interview with Amazon, and I know it's like at least 5 rounds, and I already succeeded the first one. And as this guy said, when I'm following that STAR method, Georgia didn't talk about STAR method like this is STAR method, but what Georgia give to us is STAR method. Because when you are working on the business case, everything in the business case is STAR method. I just noticed later on when Amazon, because I really understood that STAR method when Amazon sent me, Amazon is very serious. When they send you are selected, they send you the way how to answer the question. Literally, they send you, okay, my friend, this is how you have to answer the question. Follow this. Check STAR method. They send you even the link to understand what is STAR method. So, but when I just look at my business case, what you just did is the STAR method. I was doing STAR method since. So for me, it was like, okay, thank you for that. But I just noticed that I'm doing it. So I did the first interview with Amazon. That was 1 hour. And after that, they just said, okay, everything is good. We have to move forward. And now, the position I have in my Amazon is not agile. It's not agile. It's more waterfall, because they look that I have many other experience in project management, waterfall, Microsoft project, mostly Microsoft project and Excel, because they are looking for somebody who can really use advanced level on Microsoft project and Excel. So all my story are agile project management. All my story, the story I'm using to answer the question is my business case. Most of, so just to explain how what Georgia give to me is helping me now for even the position that is not is not agile. Just to see the impact she changed. I do have experience in project management, waterfall, but I'm using more what I've learned here. But now other interview, the 2 other interviews, Agile, and I just did what Georgette suggests to us, and this Capital One. I have another interview with Capital One. I did already 2 steps. Capital One, I'm waiting for them for the next step. And she said me when I finished my, she said, introduce yourself. When I said everything Georgette give to me, because I used to say to Georgette, when I'm talking to those lady or those recruiter, you are in front of me because this uh, business case, we work together, and the business case is based on all the advice. So without you, that business case could not be done. So after that, she said, wow, this is people we need here. She started asking, do you think if you have to learn more skills in agile delivery, something like that, can you learn more? Can you? So she start ask me stuff like that. So I was impressed. I said, wow. So this means that everything was good. Just to say that I'm trying my best to improve my English, because my English I know is not good. So I'm trying my best to improve. Improve means, like I said, by removing, showing that you are confident, showing that you have passion. Because sometimes I have to say that. Sometimes I used to say, okay, I'm very passionate by this. I'm using Excel to create more metric that you cannot find in Jira, for example, because I'm passionate by process designing. I design the process and create in Excel. So I used to give more skills that I can use to improve or to give more productivity to the company. So this course for the new coming, what I can just say is that even if you don't have experience, just try to understand the course, because before you finish even the 3 weeks or 1 month, you can have your certification, but you have too much to learn. You have to be, you have to take time to understand what is agile. You have to follow what she's saying, because she's going to be giving recommendation. Okay, learn this, read this, and she's doing an amazing job by creating all those PowerPoint with the link. Even after the training, Georgette is pushing everything. She's saying, okay, open this. I remember that day for the module 8. I never went to the module 8 till the last pages. But after all the training, she came back and said, did you see this? This is the link. And that really helped me a lot. And this is the difference between her and other guys. She's pushing you even when you are not expecting. She can send you a personal message. She's going to send it. That's why I can really ensure you that if you do your part, because for her, I can say, okay, for Georgette is 100 engaged to help you. And you have just to give your own, to work your own part to have what you are looking for. And that is it. So I didn't land the job till now, but I'm confident that I'm gonna land a job. And as soon as I'm gonna have it, even if you are during the training, if you want, I'm gonna explain how everything happened to the new student to encourage them and to let them know that is real. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Solomon. Thank you. I appreciate you, and you will land that job for sure. With that passion that you have, there's no doubt for that. So, guys, those great speakers, they are speaking from experience. Again, this program can open a lot of doors, can really change your life. And trust me, being in the IT field, and I know many of us, we are thinking of doing maybe some different other training and actually whether it's cybersecurity or Linux or networking or database. But one, this will be able to cover you on whatever you are doing, so that your job is not going to be lacking, or so that they don't have to be calling you at home